Thank you, Chairman. Nobody other speakers who spoke previously. I come in the car, I enjoyed every single one of you. I want to particularly thank our two new speakers tonight. They, of course, I thought they would be afraid and they would be trembling and so on. I think they were quite good. Thanks to all of them. I want to thank Ken Panty also. Ken for giving us this venue. I want to also thank the battery of police officers I've seen here. I almost thought I was here. And of course, large project tonight, I must say thanks of course to Dr. Seven Ryan for being among us here tonight. I really am disappointed. I'm disappointed because I thought that we would have had more media presence here, more foreigners and so on. Rushing to see Jack Warner. The papers are here. The US coming in the morning. Right? Because I come here just usual TV camera and so on. I feel disappointed. I also wanted to make sure I had 2 rooms after this discussion tonight. 2 rooms. I want to have 2 rooms. I want to have proper backdrop. I want to make sure that this mic is working quite well. I want to be able to vet the speeches that came before me. And the 2 rooms I have, one must be a smoking room, and one must be a drinking room. And I will go on until I give you 29 such requests. But anybody who would feel absolutely foolishness can't be serious. And the unfortunate thing is, those are the persons we have in this country. So I wanted to come here tonight to say I talk to you about extradition. But the chairman, they spoke to you quite well. And the guys who want to see me leave tomorrow, they have 15 years to wait. Last Sunday, at Trotters, Munidal, Rabindra Munan, Kalko, and a host of guys were there at Trotters Sunday evening, drinking and partying. They were happy to send over the sun, over the Express headline, Jack checks revealed. And they were having a ball last Sunday evening. Well, for the papers that arrived a few minutes ago, a while ago, you must be getting drunk tonight. But you know the sad thing about all of this? The sad thing with all of this is that, like you, I covered it on the news. I wasn't even accorded the respect to be told before. And what is for me is very painful. The man who did that, the AG, still owes me $115,000. Yes, I gave him $15,000 by check, $100,000 in cash. So for that alone, you should at least tell me beforehand, or give back the money later. Give back the money. But you know the sad part of saying, when you're in that party, you fail to understand what is respect. You fail to understand what is manners. And wherever it is, whether it's Jack Warner or Jill or whoever, treat people with respect. The least you could do is to say, Mr. Warner, we have the papers here, and I'm going to a press release, a press conference now. Okay, no big thing. You behave the same way like Amona, but Amona will be a bit last before this was said. So I'm saying to you, therefore, I'm not surprised. Or even Monday night, the Prime Minister talked about criminals and terrorists. And she said she talked about me. I am a criminal. Nobody say I'm a criminal, except she. I think it's one to know the other. Nobody said I'm a terrorist. But if she chooses to call me a terrorist, I want to tell her that this terrorist who got her in power and who acted as Prime Minister on 5 occasions and who kept the secret for over 3 years, that this terrorist of hers, who she doesn't want in the country, she says, I have news for her. The first thing I want to tell her is that people like Gandhi, people like Castro, people like Nkrumah, Mandela, all these guys were terrorists I know something, every one of them emerged to lead their country. So in France, but the best of all, the most popular terrorist was Jesus Christ. And he's in the kingdom. So I am good company, Carla. I have no problem with that. If you tell me, however, I'm a Bruce drinker, I have a problem with that. If you tell me I smoke that ganja, I have a problem with that. If you tell me I smoke marijuana, I have a problem with that. If you tell me about my nocturnal activities when put me asleep, I have a problem with that. But so therefore I'm easy. I don't know Christian Goku never met him at one meeting. He's not a terrorist. I am. So I'm saying therefore, that's okay. But what I will do, sorry for that, take it. What I will do for Kamala, since I have all the evidence, make sure you get some cover somewhere. Since I have all the evidence, in fact, since I have so much evidence of the money Kamala received from Asian Steel, I have evidence, I have David, I have letters, I have audio, I have video. I decided, of course, that since I'm a terrorist, I wanted to be in the club too. And I will take all that evidence I have, next couple of days. First of all, I'll get the Commissioner of Police. I don't expect any action from him, but I'll do the correct thing. I'll get it. The second thing I will do, I'll get copies to the DPP. The third thing I'll do, Kamala, I'll get some to the Integrity Commission. The fourth thing I'll do, Kamala, I'll give a copy to David West. Now, from all four of them, I may or may not get any action, especially from Steve Williams. But I take the fifth copy, Kamala, and get to the U.S. Embassy. I let the U.S. Embassy see how Kamala and Munilan and Devish Farage and Dennis Solomon met in a house in Lance Park by Richardson Van Partap. And when she collected checks from Ish, one particular check for $1 million, I will give it to the embassy, U.S. Embassy. And if I give it to the U.S. Embassy, they don't want to send Kamala's extradition papers or Munilan's or Danny Solomon and so on, then the U.S. Embassy will be biased. But I don't think they will be. But I want Kamala and Munilan and all of them to join the terrorist club. Since I'm a terrorist. You see? I really wanted to talk on those things tonight. But I felt tonight I should not go on that route because I'm too far from Philippines. Tomorrow, when I'm San Fernando East, very close to Philippines, all fall down. Everything fall down tomorrow night. I'm in Philippines because when I'm down here, she can't hear me. But if I'm Philippines, everything she hears, she will hear me. So therefore, to all of you, I say good evening. I normally don't prepare a speech these past 2 weeks, but I didn't want to go astray because I'm tempted. I'm tempted. You know. So I prepared a speech tonight to make sure that I stay within the crease. So I thank all of you for having me here tonight, and I greet you in this very famous village where there's a very rich history. A village where you have a number of important figures and places of interest. And therefore it would sadden any right-thinking person about the insensitivity of the present administration towards the rich heritage of this village. My friends, Diego Martin is the cradle of national unity. It was named after the Spanish and settled by the French and was developed largely through the work of Africans after emancipation. And even after 1846, you had the arrival of the Indians who came also in the Martin. And in the 20th century, You had also immigrants from the Middle East. So Diego Martin served as a melting pot of cultures, replete with intrinsic ecological treasures. But my friends, the prevailing lawlessness that has been obtained under this present government has changed the very face of Diego Martin. Blue Basin, for instance, where every young person who grew up here looked forward to going on a weekend or as a picnic venue, is now no man's land, since the spate of crime has reached there as well, with several murders these past few years. That no part of Diego Martin must ever surrender to criminal evidence, because Diego Martin, this village, has an extraordinary history and heritage, of which all of us should be proud. As villages go, Diego Martin has produced the largest number of soca warriors, past and present. You have in Diego Martin Carlos Edwards, Shaka Hislop, Cornel Glenn, and Angus Eve. Diego Martin was the home of cricketing star Charlie Davis, among others. And when boxing seemed to be on the wane, Sparrows Hideaway took up the responsibility to keep the sport alive. What all of this says is that there's hope for Diego Martin. What it tells you about Diego Martin is that Diego Martin is a place where the warrior spirit existed from inception. From day one, when the African slaves were able to defy the anti-black estate laws, Diego Martin was a place where the former Indian indentured servants held their own in Patna village, where the African presence entrenched itself and manifested as communities like Sierra Leone, Union, Covin, Green Hill, Congo, Rich Plain, and Bagatelle. Diego Martin is also the place where Calypso was actually born, right over there in Covin, where Goja first sang his Gavwe back in the late 18th century, and the place where some of the most famous practitioners of the art in our time let their pockets down, including the Grandmaster Kitchener, including the mighty Sparrow, including school teacher, or former school teacher, Dr. Hollis Liverpool, and this goes on and on. Diego Martin is also famous for a number of enduring steel bands and musicians of the caliber of Roy Kay and Clyde Bradley. All of these men, all of them, refused to compromise the integrity of their works under any circumstance. And that, for me, was evidence of the warrior spirit in Diego Martin. My dear brothers and sisters, up to not so long ago, Calypso was important and fundamental to good governance. You recall Brother Valentino in 2005, he asked the question where Calypso went. He said that the Calypsonian was the only true opposition, because historically it was the voice of the people and therefore the voice of God. Not like some people say, born in front of the eye behind you. Not like that at all. My friends, the traditional Calypsonian could be depended upon to keep any government in check. And this was, therefore, possibly our most precious indigenous art form. When these guys sang, Afraid Carl, for example, by Choki, they kept government in check. And they used it, and the Calypsonian, therefore, really performed the work of opposition. But my friends, what has happened to the Calypso now is that the PP government has systematically stripped it of its value. Because this PPP government did so and do so by financially supporting only those Calypsonians and tenants to which they are aligned, or who they like, or who like them. For example, if a Calypsonian sees only one song against the government, Capo smoke a pipe. Capo smoke a pipe. And therefore Calypso, which was the traditional art form of keeping the government in check, was vulgarly prostituted by the People's Partnership government and even before them. So therefore the Calypso, as an art, as a propaganda tool, where of course it was used before to represent widespread public opinion, has died. Calypso has gone like desperate, died. As a district of the Omantin, Bibi Valley is no less famous culturally, because in Bibi Valley, one of the most famous black men was born, Emmanuel Zumbo Lazari. It was there in Bibi Valley he built his home. This is the same property where Pastor Ibu's church now stands, at the corner of Simeon Road and Monkoko Road. When the fountain from the Red House was brought after the fire of 1903, and where it remained until recently as a symbol of struggle. It was Zumbo Lazari who brought pipe-borne water from the springs on the hill to the area you now call Simeon Road. He lived near Crystal Stream, from where most of Lord Martin currently gets its water. So therefore, Lazari pioneering initiatives helped make Igongo for a level of civilization in what was formerly a cluster of remote sugar estates. As far back as that time, my dear friends, Lazari held agricultural competitions in the area. He encouraged people to plant the land, and he was the first serious politician in this area. Mumbo Lazari was the first serious politician in the Omantin. He got the same fountain that was put in front of his house when he led the protest against the Red House in 1903, which led to the fire. And that's why he got the fountain. The Omantin, my dear friends, was a place, I say was and not is. The Omantin was a place where unity was the centerpiece, with the French and Spanish remaining even after emancipation, with Africans and Indians and other races that were present then and even now. Immigrants came from the Middle East, I said, and developed such areas as New Yalta, which still bears the street names reflecting their Jewish influence. The Diamond Estate, which was still in the Diamond Vale in the early 1960s, and Capitol lands and Gopal lands all tell you the story of integration. Integration, brothers and sisters. Everyone living together in a serene valley. Many of you tonight who are here opted to live in the Omantin because they found here to be a place where you could have invested your future. You found here to be a place where you could have made a living. You found here to be a place where there was easy access and egress. As you know, all of that has simply evaporated. And in this place, the Omantin, you now have relentless crime and unbelievable traffic jams virtually any time of the day or night. Traffic jams in the Omantin are no respecter of the time of the day. They come anytime. In such an area as the Omantin, so densely populated, my brothers and sisters, no drugstore, just to stay open after 6 p.m. If you fall sick, If your child falls ill, you have to go to St. James, next to the old Roxy Cinema, or West Boris for relief. So in Diego Martin, you can't get sick. Even those who live here in Diego Martin and have business elsewhere have found themselves under siege. And if it's not crime, then you have floods. That's Diego Martin. Year upon year upon year. Government after government. And those persons who insist on giving their business in Diego Martin, like one supermarket, down St. Lucian Road, Valley Supermarket, on Mokoko Road, have to live with the threat of robbery or close down. Like counterparts in other areas of our beloved Trinidad and Tobago, you, the people of Diego Martin, now have to spend additional sums of money to imprison yourselves in your own homes. All the beautiful houses now have to be burdened by burglar-proofing and its expensive detection and security systems just to be able to enjoy your property. It's what I do television after a hard day's work, and if you want to be crazy and you want to watch UNC Guru, and you play with that, or even the clown in your daddy, that's your business. I was asking Haitian business. I said, well, you can spend inflation. You know, last time I could, I'm not going to picture about I'm saying, last time I don't listen to Kamla Tola. Monday night for rum. When they have their for rum up there, I buy for rum at home. That's ice and coke on board. So I was a parent meeting last night. I tell you something. One of the best speeches I've ever heard on a platform was Camille on the services. I tell you tonight, I know the thing when you have to meeting though, or talking about another party, but if I don't listen, go back and get to listen to Camille on the services. But she lit up camera. She lit up camera. And I have a tape of it to play any day with the voice and so on. I will play Camille on the speech. So I'm saying therefore, crime in Diego Martin has not only altered leisure and business, but crime is now affecting respect for religious beliefs, including this village and this country's appreciation of the valley in Patna Village. In Patna Village, fewer and fewer people visit here year after year because they're afraid of being ambushed on their way back home, or they're afraid of returning home to find their houses ransacked. And my friends, criminal activity isn't the only thing I have to worry about in Diego Martin after I have this work. Diego Martin area, this village, east, northeast, central, and west, these constituencies which make up Diego Martin. I'm saying, Diego Martin area is fast taken over from points east and central as the reference for traffic jams, morning and evening. In the Diego Martin, traffic warnings are almost non-existent, and I was the person who first made them. Since I made them, those warnings, they haven't had one more one, but they have over 20,000 cars on the road still. And traffic warnings, therefore, don't come to Diego Martin, they're almost non-existent. And therefore, those persons who live north of Crystal Stream Avenue now must leave their homes before 6 a.m. Before 6 a.m. if they wish to avoid a crawl into Port of Spain. We lose over $12 million per day in traffic jams in Diego Martin alone. And does the government care? Pass or pressure? Not at all. The present government, my friends, has no time for your problems. Based on their propaganda, they're only concerned about staying in power at any cost. No, Rowley. How absurd. How absurd. I can't understand. I can't understand how much lower can Canada go. I can't understand. As a little boy, these are the saying, you're so low, you could pass on their ways a day. Until you buy time. When Canada so low. You have a press conference in the higher to say, no, Rowley, I am not Rowley's spokesman. He can talk for himself. But as a politician, that is infidel, it's wrong. And to have the other clown, Rodney Charles, and Vincent Barrett, telling people, breaking news at the higher. Crash is a zero, he's zilch. Breaking news at the higher. What breaking news? No Rowley. Next thing, keep your children home from Rowley. Next thing, children, be careful of Jack Warner and Rowley. The two some gruesome. The two some gruesome. Are you feeling handsome? I ain't saying that, I mean after all. Already the two some handsome. You want not do some. You have spent more money in 5 years than any other government and has less to show for it. See, in that country where there's anger, you can walk outside there and cut it with a knife. This country is angry. People are smiling no more. And then she brings an English film and she fires on US. And then US say, I don't do that. It's too late. It's too late because US is part of the person, part of the reason why she's here. I don't understand what is happening to the lady. In my life, friends, in my life, I have never seen such deterioration in a person as I see in Canada. Wrong. Yeah, but if it's wrong, if it's wrong, wrong don't can't do that. If it's even theft alone can't do that. If it's even kickback alone can't do that. I think it's something else. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. No, right, how I must, I love you. Yes, I will. So my friends, I'm saying this government has no time for your problems. All they are concerned with propaganda, PR. They must take power at all costs. Even if it means complete disregard for the people who put them in power in the first place. For this government, the people's business is their last consideration. The people's business is their last consideration. They could tell you, for example, I tell you, if by chance I had my way, this sunshine would have been a daily giver. Because there's so much to talk about. So much to talk about. And what I tell you to do now is to have a second newspaper the week before the election. Because that is the week you have to be reminded. You know this country, let me forget. You get box train. So the government is good. They get food card for $410. The government is better. And if they want to send $1, they go for life. And you forget that the day after election, September the 8th, the card expires. Right. This is the country we live in. And just to keep again and again reminding you, do not be fooled. Do not be fooled. The little people in this country have become a nuisance to this government. Many of you still cling to the PP as a babe clings to a comforter, believing that there is some degree of assured comfort there. Tonight, I ask you to go Martin. Tonight, my friends. Tonight, I ask you tonight to give up the waka. Throw it away. Throw away the paintbrushes. These are only serving as confidence to you. Instead, replace them with laptops, not from Canada, buy your own. Laptops. Replace them with education. I am asking you tonight in Martin, on behalf of the ILP, on my own behalf, to give up your subservience, to give up your dependence for dignity, self-respect, and advancement on that ILP government. My friends in the Martin, you have nothing to lose but your chains. Nothing to lose but your chains, which you have imposed on yourselves. The chains you have now are chains which you have imposed on yourselves. For over 50 years, the Martin has been imprisoned. And I'm saying to you again, you have nothing to lose today but the PB chains. And as my chairman said, this is a politics. You change the PNM change for PB chain. PNM chain for PB chain. Tonight we are asking you, we don't want a change at all. We want your trust and your confidence. My friends, the IRP says, on September the 7th, you have to give up those chains. On September the 8th, usher in the dawn of a new era. My friends, my brothers and sisters, for the first time, get it right. Get it right. There is no place in the politics of other parties to include the vision of young. Not the parties. Look at the parties. There is no place in those parties to include the vision of the young in the dynamics of an ever-changing world. Our youth can play a vital role in removing many of the evils which constantly plague us. But our youths are never included in the pursuit of solutions to build our nation. Rather, they are criticized and maligned. At election time, they never use. After election, they forget them. And they don't understand that the youth can be used, I will repeat, to remove the evils of this world. So therefore, it is no wonder that as a nation, we are going full speed backward. We are going full speed backward instead of plowing full speed ahead. Just like our women, our youth can find no hope in the leadership of this country. Can anybody tell me they want their daughter to be like the Prime Minister? No. Can anybody tell me they want their son to be like Monilal? No. Can anybody tell me they want their cousin to be like Suraj? No. Or Ram Logan? No. Because that's what you get if you don't vote wisely September the 8th. Look at the People's Partnership Cabinet. Look at their cabinet of 29 persons. And two things you see missing: women and youth. In the cabinet, where I was a member for 2 or 3 years, there were 2 women. Carol Prasad Bechan, and the Prime Minister. 29 of us, 27 women, 27 men, and 2 women. The young people weren't even there, they were kept out. I'm asking you tonight, look at those persons who Kamala appointed as senators, and 2 things you will see which were missing: women and youth. I have never seen a woman who hates women so. Never seen it in my life. How can a woman hate women so? In fact, I tell you, I hear no question, but one of the leaders, where I go to place? I don't go to that place. Right? From here I go home. One of the leaders who you have learned from is Patrick Manning. Because he made sure that he brought in women in his cabinet, in his government, that any other person. And we, the ILP, will do the same. Because the fact is, there are good things Manning did, and he must, of course, replicate the good things. And the bad things he did, excise them. But one thing taught us, right, that women and young people have a part to play in politics. Look at the members of parliament. And clearly you see, among them I say, not enough women and youth. The ILP understands that for us to progress, we need more women. 1, 2, 3, 5, 11, few women, 2 men. You see what I mean? For us to progress, We need more women. Because women, okay, you know, women are not intrinsically corrupt, except for the Prime Minister. I said women, every single corrupt act in this country comes in welfare and has sanctioned it. I tell you something. Only because not to steal the Guardian Thunder, but at least a corruption in this country, if you ever hit, you will collapse everything. You know and see, I don't want to steal the Guardian Thunder. No, but bad I am something. Right? I tell you, if you blow your mind, last Sunday they told you about a $0.9 billion racket. $0.9 billion racket. Well, let me tell you something. This one that coming here is equals. And Canada know all about that. There is no racket in this country that Canada doesn't know about. And the benefits from them. Right? But that's what the boys are going to do. So if I'm saying to you, if the youths are placed in charge of their destiny, if the youths are placed in charge of their destiny, national debt, which they will have to repay, will never be so high. The national debt, which they have to repay, will never be so high. If youths were given the right to run this corporation, the Guwahati Corporation, roads will never be paid in the way they are being paid today. If youths were placed on the job, the social problems which face us today will be drastically reduced. But the PP, and I speak of the PW, but the PP put people in power whose vested interest is only the present. They are only concerned about the present. That's why our national debt can be so high. That is why the Heritage and Stabilization Fund had no money for the past year. And that is why the debate that they wanted to have is no more. Very early we said, when they came back, because very early we said that the debate would be a farce. Very early we said that we didn't want the Chamber of Commerce, a group of businessmen, to organize any debate. We said the University of Universities, or UTT, organized the debate, or a school of learning. They have no vested interest, at least not much. But we said, we're taking back. Now, of course, the send me letters about taking back. I ain't interested. My debate here is with you. Your debate here is with me. About the people, about the government. Let Canada go to CNMG and debate with Kenali. Alright? So I'm saying, therefore, if the youth go place on the job, my friends, the social problems which face us today will be drastically reduced. But the US partnership put people in power whose vested interest is only the present. And that is why corruption, nepotism, and cronyism are the order of the day. I heard John Katia talking about that. Nowhere in sight you can see any sustainable development. Nowhere in sight. The Minister of Planning and Sustainable Development was talking about a rail car from Laventille down to Port of Spain. I think that was a cable car. That idiot, people in Laventille still have houses. They tell to make ends meet. You put that cable car, so you will look down on them now to see how bad they are. As if that wasn't bad enough. Now the Prime Minister is putting a floating museum above the jail. A floating museum. What I asked her to do, put a glass bottom so people can see inside. Put that glass bottom in the museum so people can look down and see the Prime Minister and the cabinet inside. You put a floating museum. What has that got to do with the country? What has to do? What does that help you? The royal jail is no longer royal, no jail. I know it, I was there. There's nothing royal about the royal jail. You find today that prisoners are complaining, being 10 and 12 to a room, and yet for all, they bought a property for $234 million. Santa Rosa, is nobody. I was offered that property for $17 million. I said no, I paid 12. Jack wanted 16. I said no, I paid 12. He said no business. I said fine. 3 years later, the same property for $234 million. Madness, man. So Thomas, insurance owners, by Brentwood, Thomas here. For the past 5 years, they did nothing with them because they said they didn't want people from Laventille competition owners. But today, Munilal will say that to repair those towers cost $200 million. But to build the towers cost $50 million. Madness, man, madness. I ask you tonight, how much more can they thief? How much more? How many cars can they drive? In how many houses can they live? What's the reason for the greed? The greed that you see here in this government is unprecedented. And I just want to take blame, full blame for that. That's why I just want to have to take the responsibility to move them. To move them. So if you go Martin, I'm saying, you must make a difference to the future of this country. You, Igor Martin, must be part of the rescue mission being mounted by the Independent Liberal Party. You, Igor Martin, must join us in removing the People's Partnership Covenant because they are never going to remove themselves. My friends, the time has come when you, Igor Martin, must say enough is enough. The people must understand that they have wrecked your hopes in Igor Martin. They have wrecked your aspirations in Igor Martin as they have done in the rest of the country. My friends, it's not the PP that is willing on that crime. The PP, they're the bodyguards and the armed and so on. You, in Igor Martin, are the victims of crime. You, in Igor Martin, must go together. You, in Igor Martin, must identify the culprit. And in Igor Martin, you must join with us in the ILP in extricating Trinidad and Tobago from the grip of these people in the people who are so insensitive and who have no use for their time, no effort, except on voting day. On voting day, they know you. On voting day, they want you. The day after that, they force you until next 5 years. I would cut off representation. Even now I speak to you. I still see people in West from 4 or 5 in the morning. From all over the country. All over the country. You know why? Because I understand what representation means. And I know that the man coming to me, his problem might be a small one to me, but to him is the end of the world. Sometimes just to talk to you can help. It's up to you, my brothers and sisters in Igor Martin, to recognize that your future and the way forward is the joint responsibility of yourselves and the ILP. And that is why today, as political leader of the ILP, it gives me great pleasure to announce one more candidate tonight, right here in Igor Martin, and not the country club. Right here. And so, tonight, I announced the candidate of Igor Martin Central. And I'm saying, young and enterprising, Ms. Kathy Lamont. To you tonight, Kathy will still do well. Yes. She will of course represent you well. Yes. You will know in Kathian that you have a true representative. Tomorrow night, we are San Fernando. We are doing another one of our community meetings. This meeting here tonight is our 39th meeting. We have to hold 61 more. And then we have our last meetings. This is our 39th meeting. Tomorrow is our 40th meeting in San Fernando East at Motor Palian, Chamando West, sorry. At Motor Palian, Johnny Face, Navet Road. And that meeting, we shall announce our candidate for San Fernando East. My dear friends, I thank you and good night.